The August 2019 New Zealand Trucking Magazine main test is the Mack Trident AF 6x4 rigid day cab logger owned and operated by Mack Transport of Christchurch. The Magpie is a tenacious, stealthy, skillful, opinionated and witty creature, with an innate confidence and a keen eye for shiny things. Born with no tolerance for fools, or for those who fall short of the bulldog's tenacity. Hailing from Canterbury's biggest village, the Aimer family have a trucking lineage that stretches back generations. Diesel flows through their veins like sap through the fibre of a well-pruned pine. Mark Aimer is an owner-driver of 14 years with the immaculate Christchurch trucking operation that is Steve Murphy Limited. Mark, known to most as Magpie, is a Mack man through and through, and recently took delivery of his second Mack Trident following a near faultless 800,000 kilometre run from his first. Sitting in the SML Kaiapō yard, the master of puppies sparkled in sync with its surroundings on a frosty Canterbury morning. A scene that signalled the beginning of a 3-day adventure full of robust and insightful conversation in sublime winter conditions. People said to me, they're just platforms now, but believe me, you can custom build a Mack far more than people think, and more than other brands touting custom built, said Mark. The first thing Magpie wanted was a hefty chassis, and so the truck has the 11mm thick rails, usually found in rugged applications. I'm not an out-and-out payload chaser. It's very well building them light to carry more, but with cartage rates where they're at, it takes a hell of a lot of payload to compensate a big engineering fix. I wanted something that wasn't going to move around with a load on, so likewise bolster positioning has been customised to garner the best blend of position, handling and traction. The trailer is a Magpie custom as well. Craft got the nod because of their willingness to do what he wanted, and because in 5 years of operation, the previous trolley never saw the business end of a welding rod in order to repair a crack. Old mate sitting up front on the hood in this instance is silver on the account of the truck not having a full proprietary driveline. Under the bonnet is the 12.8 litre, 6-cylinder overhead cam MP8 engine. It is Euro 5 via SCR with Mack VMAX 4 engine management smarts. The power peak is 400 kilowatts, 535 horsepower at 1450 RPM, which hangs around until 1900 RPM. Torque runs in at 2603 Newton metres, 1920 pound-foot at 1050 RPM, and doesn't throw power the performance bone until 1450 RPM, making that particular number a handy one indeed. Backing up the engine, and the first reason for the silver tinge on the mascot, is the Eaton Fuller RTLO 22918B 18-speed transmission. This feeds into Silver Dog reasons 2 and 3. Meritor RT 46160 GP axles at 4.1 to 1 that sit on Mack AP460 air suspension, rated at 20,900 kgs, which is in fact a Hendrix and Primax setup. I like the Primax, said Mark, really good on traction and more importantly very stable on the road. Up front is Mack's FXL 14.6 axle at 6,600 kg capacity, riding on 1397mm heavy duty parabolic springs and shock absorbers. On the road, and the infrequency of gears being changed impacts the sensors straight away, the result of intuitive interpretation of upcoming topography and risk factors. The processor controlling this transmission is several million years into its development, and this particular example has been customised for the task since birth. The electronic smarts, by comparison, are just a mere decade or 3 down their evolutionary track, and it definitely shows. There is no, in the tricky bits I put it into manual, emanating from this cab. It's been in manual since the day it rolled off the line in Wakehole in Brisbane. Magpie had the bulldog on a firm leash, and his run, heel, sit, fetch instructions were issued meticulously via the gear lever and 3 pedals. Inside the cab, it's trucking's tribute to the High Chaparral in burgundy pleated ultra leather. There's a high aspect dash with a gorgeous big wrap clad in heavy duty plastic and wood grain fascia inserts. In front of the driver there are gauges galore, warning lights as well as the co-pilot readout. The wrap houses the switchgear, trailer brake controls and valves, climate, entertainment, bush radio and CTI controller. Almost all switchgear is on the dash, with some placed overhead and the headlight controls in the lower right. None of it is in the steering wheel. We have found a kindred spirit on this subject. Someone who likes a steering wheel for steering and doesn't enjoy chasing moving buttons on a windy road. With a dash wrapped around like this and a cab this snug, there is no reaching for anything. Indicators and dipper on the left wand and menu selector for the co-pilot on the right. Mark's also spec'd the truck with dual air seats. He's a thoughtful bloke. Storage is a slight issue as there is in many day cab conventionals, but the Trident came with a beautifully finished cubby between the seats, and the central overhead console you'll find more comms radios. Aside from that, it's trays and coffee cup holders under the wrap. Serviceability wise, it's a dream. There's nothing that's not scrubbable. Mark Aim was not born of silver spoon and has worked and battled to get the truck we see here today. There is an old recording currently doing the rounds on YouTube. It tracks a group of TD haulage crew from the mid-1980s around the central North Island, working like Trojans. Lithe, fit, skilled, energetic, enthusiastic and witty. There's one scene that encapsulates that whole era. Paul Hopcroft loads a Company W model, washes his hands, leaps into the cab and is a blur as waybill is completed, gear selected, clutch released, truck moving, mirror checked, everything happening almost simultaneously. Skilled, meticulous urgency. You watch it and think those days are gone.
Bonjour, das machen wir.
That level of commitment, ethic, enthusiasm, attitude and sense of adventure. But maybe not. Maybe if you look hard enough in the forests of Canterbury, you might just see a magpie. Hard at work, doing it the way it used to be, the way it should be. To get the entire rundown on this custom-built Mack Trident logger for Christchurch-based Mark Aim Transport Limited, then grab a copy and read the full story in the August 2019 issue of New Zealand Trucking Magazine on sale now. Have a great month out there, keep the shiny side up and travel safe.